All right, so today we are building a treasure box. This box, if you're listening to this video in 2025, your kid may be coming home with a partially completed box. This video shows how to build the box from start to finish, so that way, depending on where your scout is at in the construction process, you can complete it. Also, if this is something that maybe you would like to bring to your den, it shows you how to do it. All right, so to start, you have 3 pieces of wood. So this whole thing was constructed out of 6-inch common wood, common lumber. Obviously, it's not exactly 6-inch, but we're just going to say 6-inch, except for when it is a different size. So this is 6 inches by 8 inches, and we've labeled it A. Next, we have 6-inch by 9.5 inch, and we've labeled it B. You may notice some nail holes. That was due to a happy little mistake. We have restarted this video. You have 2 pieces that are labeled C, that are 2.5 inches by 9.5 inches. And one last piece labeled D, that is 5 3/8 of an inch by 7 7/8 of an inch. You also have 4 pieces of rope. 4 of them are 8.5 inches long, and 2 of them are 13 inches long. There it is, 13 inches long. So, other materials needed: ruler or measuring tape. You need 20 nails. 4D is a good size. 1.5 inches is also a good size. It's not too long, and it's big enough. You can use finishing nails, or you can use nails with heads. Either way works just fine. You need a pencil, a hammer, and a drill. Guide to Safe Scouting says Cub Scouts are not supposed to use power tools, and so if you have a hand crank drill, that'll work really well. Otherwise, maybe have an adult do this. You'll also need a 1/4 inch drill bit. So to start, you're going to take your A and D piece and you're going to set them off to the side. You're going to start off with your B and your C piece. You're going to be putting nails in the corners. It's not all the way in the corner. You want to have a little bit of space from the edge, from the left-right edge, and from the top-down edge. One trick you can do is to take a board like one of your other boards, set it on its side like this, and draw a line. Like that, to show what the back side of the board looks like as that other board's behind it. Gives you a good idea of how to space the nail so that you're sinking straight down into the middle of it. So, I'm going to do 4 nails. And each piece that is labeled B and C. When you hammer these, they don't need to go all the way through. You're just getting them started. They should be tight enough that you can't just pull it out, but not so far that you're nailing it down to the table underneath it. Once you have these done, you're going to grab your pieces that are labeled A, and you're going to make a U shape out of them, all 3 pieces. All right. The third piece that's down here in the bottom helps to maintain the correct spacing. So this is going to be the bottom of our box. You're going to take one of your pieces that's labeled B. We'll set it on top. You want to make sure that the box is flush on the sides and the bottom. Then you take one of your C pieces and it goes right on top. Once you have that done, you're going to take your piece that you had down here in the bottom, you're going to slide it down through here. You want it nice and flush at the bottom. Chances are it's going to be really tight. So what you can do as you slide it down is to give it gentle taps back and forth. That'll help rock it down. You don't want to hit it too hard or hit it too many times in one direction, because it'll make it go too crooked and you can crack your wood. It's cut to fit pretty exact. It's going to be pretty tight. All right. Then you're going to take your last 4 nails, measure, nail them down here at the bottom. B and C piece, nail them one. Once you have that done, you're going to mark your pieces. You're going to have a front, back, 2 sides. So starting with the back, you want to mark a point that is 2 inches from the end and is 1 inch down. Same going the other direction. 2 inches over and 1 inch down. From back here on the back, you want to measure from, not from this edge, but from this edge. It's going to be 1 inch. 1 inch over and 1 inch down. Over, 1 inch down. Same with the other side. 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch. Never mind my broken pencil. 1 inch. Okay. So your front side, you have to find the halfway point. All right, and so on this box, it's 9.5 inches wide. The halfway point is going to be 4 3/4. Now, as I said earlier, this is video 2 of a happy little mistake, so we already have it marked at 4 3/4. And as with all the other holes, it's 1 inch down. All the holes being 1 inch down is very important because the knots for the handles and the hinges are what keep the lid from falling down through. Once that's done, you're going to take your piece labeled D, and you're going to measure 1 inch over and 1 inch down. 1 inch over, 1 inch down. This one is a little bit different. Because this piece is 7 7/8, the halfway point is technically 3 inches and 15/16. If you were to put it at the 4 inch mark, I think that would be perfectly acceptable. But for this video, we're going to do it exact, right? So 15/16 of an inch, and we're going to go 1 inch down. All right. Now we're going to drill. The Guide to Safe Scouting says that Cub Scouts are not allowed to use power tools. So if you have a hand crank drill, that would be best. But for expediency's sake of this video, I'm going to be using a power drill. So all the marks that you just drilled out, you're going to drill them out. Save the table, I'm going to drill this over top of the lid, or over top of the open part of the box. So, right there. Hardware. Starting with the handle, tie an overhand knot. Cinch it down to the end. Take the rope, start from the inside, pass it through the hole that you just drilled out. Pull it through. Take it, pass it through the other hole. If you have some splinters in the way, you might have to pull them out. Alright, and then tie another overhand knot in the back side of the rope, and then pull it tight. That'll keep your handle in. Tie an overhand knot, cinch it down the end of the rope. Start from inside the box, pull it through. Pass it through. Tie another overhand knot. Pull it tight. So the front is going to be the latch of our treasure box. Tie an overhand knot. Pass it through. And then this is optional, but you can tie another overhand knot and work it It's way down there because that keeps it from pulling out. Next, it's going to be the hinge. Tight overhand knot. Pass it through the hole. Overhand knot. Pass it through the hole. So the lid is going to come down like this, right? So if you flip it over like this and pass the rope through, tie a knot on this side. Do the same thing over here. If you have any splinters, you just pull them off. Stop. Lastly, the latch for our lid. Overhand knot. Pull it through. Like I said, this is optional, but it does help keep from losing it. Having a second knot there, so that way it doesn't pull in or out. Maybe a little square knot. Not a square knot. But anyway, thus completes your box. Thank you.
Yay!